Welcome back to Comic Showcase, true believers. It's been a wild ride going through the history of the Marvel Universe, hasn't it, fearless viewers? We started small with the Golden Age hothead Human Torch and the peerless power of Namor. And through each decade since, we've soldiered through on a journey through time and many memorable characters. We've witnessed the birth of heroes who would one day become the cornerstone of a universe. A quartet of amazing explorers who became known as the Fantastic Four. The rebirth of Marvel's Mighty Mutants, the X-Men, the wedding of the amazing Spider-Man, the team full of surprises called the Thunderbolts, and a fantastic retelling of the origin of Marvel's flagship character in the Ultimate Spider-Man. We're now at the end of our journey as we take a look at Marvel now. Specifically, we're taking on the Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes. Now with 100% more Disney.
I'm Mickey Mouse. I own Marvel, ABC, and Lucasfilm. I own your childhoods. Hail Satan!
Roll the opening credits. We've arrived at the present day, and it's an age where Marvel Comics is now owned by Disney in such a way that Warner Brothers owns DC Comics. That is to say, Disney lets Marvel do what it wants as long as they get a cut of the profits, and in turn Disney helps to merchandise their properties via film, television, and other forms of media. Some fans expected Disney to ruin all the characters and kiddyify them all. Some, like myself, expected Disney to leave well enough alone, and just let Marvel do what they've been doing. At the time of this video, Disney has helped to make one of Marvel's oldest properties into one of the greatest blockbusters in Marvel film history. The year 2013 is also the 50th anniversary of the Avengers' first appearance. They share their anniversary with the X-Men and Doctor Who. For information on the Avengers, here's some background. And there came a day unlike any other, when Earth's mightiest heroes were united against a common threat. On that day, the Avengers were born, to fight the foes no single hero could withstand. Through the years, their roster has changed, but their glory has never been denied. And hey, eventually they got their own summer blockbuster in 2012. They must be doing something right. All wasn't right before this comic came out. Marvel now appeared hot off the heels of a company-wide crossover event called Avengers vs. X-Men, where superheroes were again fighting other superheroes. See Civil War to see how this idea panned out the first time. This time, it was over a mutant girl named Hope Summers, who was supposed to bring balance to the Force. Wait, no. She was supposed to restore all of mutant kind's powers after they lost them all at the end of House of M, another company-wide crossover. The X-Men called her mutant kind's Messiah, and wanted to train her to be the ultimate mutant. Well, Cyclops did anyway. Oh, the vilification of Cyclops. I could do a whole video on that. You know what? I think I will. The Phoenix Force came for Hope to help restore all the mutants who lost their powers after House of M. After a big battle, Cyclops, Colossus, Namor, Emma Frost, and Magic all got Phoenix powers. Once those five were defeated, Hope managed to restore many of the mutants' powers. Like all things, there was a price to pay for bringing the Phoenix Force to Earth again. Professor X was dead by Cyclops' hand. The X-Men didn't want anything to do with Cyclops, who was in villain mode at the time. Seriously, throughout the crossover, he acted like Magneto, and even he called him out on that. So, what did the X-Men do? Well, many of them decided to join the Avengers. Hey, it worked for Beast and Wolverine, didn't it? And that's the setup for the comic. How did this idea come about? After Avengers vs. X-Men ended, Marvel now was billed as the next stage in the evolution of the Marvel Universe. This meant that several titles would be cancelled and returned with new #1 issues. Each book would have exciting creative teams and characters behind it to make the characters come alive. Joe Quesada, who was now the chief creative officer of Marvel, also came out and said how this wasn't a reboot like DC's was. It's a good thing too. On some nights I can hear the screaming coming from Minnesota. My heart made that noise when they canceled Spider-Girl for the umpteenth time. And Kara makes it now. Instead of it being a reboot, Marvel now would have changes to character status quos, new costumes, alter egos, and in the case of Spider-Man, a complete brain transfer to one of his most deadly foes. Superior Spider-Man, your day is coming. Right now, let's take a look at the brave new world created in Marvel Now's Avengers #1. This cover, while good, isn't as awe-inspiring as other Avengers covers have been over the years. This might be because the picture combines with two other comic covers to become an even bigger picture. Dustin Weaver and Justin Ponsor made this cover pop with excitement as the Avengers marched toward the reader with a light of hope behind them. Avengers #1 opens with inky blackness. Odd way to start a comic. Oh, I get it. The first page is going through the Big Bang in what appears to be a flashback. There was nothing, followed by everything. Swirling, burning specks of creation that circled life-giving suns. And then we raced to the light. This is deep. I'm reading an Avengers comic, right? Yep. It's Avengers. Not Cerberus. Deep stuff aside, the narrator talks about theories of where the light came from. It could have come from Hyperion, who... Hang on, back up. Hyperion? The member of Squadron Supreme, who was the analog of Superman? This Hyperion? According to Jonathan Hickman, the writer for the book, his Hyperion is... This is yet another parallel universe Hyperion. This is not King Hyperion or Supreme Power Hyperion. This is Hyperion without all that baggage. See, I would have liked this fresh start when Sentry was introduced. That guy annoyed me. Anyway, others claim the light came when Hyperion entered our reality, or when new baddie ex nihilo terraformed Mars into a green paradise. All presumptions proved to be wrong. It started with two men, Tony Stark and Steve Rogers, and it started with an idea. Tony Stark, the invincible Iron Man, looks at a series of monitors and scratches his chin. He's up to something, or at the very least starting the intro to Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes. It started with an idea? Where did I hear that before? Oh right, the Avengers trailer. Well, it's a good place to start as any, I suppose. Tony watches Steve wake up and... Whoa. Tony, do you watch Captain America sleep often? That's kinda creepy, dude. It turns out that Tony has been thinking about something Steve once said to him. It's been something that's been nagging him for a while now, and it's the same feeling he had when he and the other original Avengers found Cap. Tony says that they started something that mattered, and because of the return of Captain America, the world changed. Even he has changed. The world is now more dangerous as the threats are escalating, and Tony adds that he was right. The Avengers have to get bigger. Bigger? Almost every single superhero in the Marvel Universe has been an Avenger at this point, and they want to get bigger? What are they, Avengers Unlimited? Meanwhile on Mars, Mr. Yellow Spandex, ex nihilo, talks to his minions about how terraforming Mars was the first step in the greater plan, after taking in how marvelous his creation on the Red Planet is. Aleph, his robot buddy, corrects his master by saying they want to recode Earth and raze it to the ground to start anew. Nihilo says Aleph is missing the point. He wishes to create a new atom for Earth, and how it will be the first of many perfect beings. After all, he doesn't want to destroy Earth. That's Galactus' job. So, I think they go to the same cosmic hat store. You can really tell how important a cosmic being is by how silly the hat is. It's true. Look it up. The more sillier the hat, the more important they are. Go ahead. I can wait. Look it up. Aleph doesn't seem to be too impressed by the rationale his boss tried to explain, since he said the so-called origin bombs were only hurled at Earth, not fired at the planet. There's a difference? Officer, I only hurled the rock at the car. I didn't throw it at it. Nutcase. Nilho's other minion, Abyss, says that he's wasting time mincing words with Aleph, who seems to only see destruction. He asks her what her designs on the planet are, and she says that she sees things for what they are. The people of Earth threaten everything, and that sparing them may be reckless. They have sent in heroes to stop Nilho's plans. Is it Avengers Assemble time? I think it is. Sure enough, we see Captain America, Hawkeye, Thor, Black Widow, Iron Man, and Bruce Banner. Wait, that's the Avengers movie team. Oh, son, you're in trouble now. The team remarks on how odd it is that Mars is green. The Avengers initially came to Mars to investigate the source of the bombs that had been fired at populated areas, causing the people to be mutated in a way that altered billions of years of evolution. Iron Man remarks at how whoever did this had to have had godlike abilities. Suffice to say, he is impressed. I love Thor's reaction here. Thor is really thinking, that varlet, he is not a true god. I will smite him into the fiery pits of Niflheim for his treachery. The team lands and Bruce Banner says, I think we're done talking. It's time to Hulk out, and we get a fantastic image of Hulk leading the charge. This is a splash page I can get behind. Like, way behind. Like, away from the giant green rage monster. Kids, when you want a bad guy thrown around like a rag doll, you want a giant green rage monster leading the charge. I kinda wish he said Avengers Assemble, though. Hulk leads in with a mighty roar and gets hit by some unknown agent that turns out to be vegetation. Iron Man tries to get a clear reading when he is ensnared by Nilho, king of the yellow headgear. Nilho taunts Tony and remarks that he should speed up his evolution when he is stopped by Hawkeye and Black Widow, who want him to step away from the guy with the money. Tony Stark signs all my checks and keeps me in cool gadgets. He lives. Nilho isn't impressed by the Avengers' bravado and reacts to violence with violence, saying that he could have made Iron Man better than he was before, and asks if this is the thanks he gets. For a godlike entity, he seems like a whiner, doesn't he? Man up, will ya? Or are you yellow? Oh, I'm sorry, he already is yellow. It's kind of obvious at this point. Hulk recovers and moves to strike Nilho when Abyss plants the idea in his head that he is the strongest one there is, and wants him to open his eyes to the truth. There is only one who is stronger than he is. He is the enemy. He is the only one who thinks he is a frightened child, and she wants him to show him how wrong he is. Hulk naturally turns to Thor and pow! Looks like we're getting a puny god thing again. The lady with the mind-warping ability sets her sights on Captain America and says, I bet you think you've won. Cap responds by saying, not as long as I'm left standing, and throws his mighty shield at the yellow guy. When Captain America throws his mighty shield, all those who oppose his shield must yield? Oh, robot, you are new at this. You do not tell Captain America to yield. The robot, of course, doesn't listen and beats Cap up. Nilho convinces the robot to stop because of some desire to not waste life, since they're in a new Garden of Eden or something like that. If it hasn't been made clear by now, Yellow Pants here isn't playing with a full deck. Nilho and his cronies take Cap's unconscious body back to the Quinjet and send it to Earth as a message to those who would dare strike at Nilho. It will be, as he said, a warning from the heavens. Not too smart for a hyper-evolved cosmic being, is he? Cap wakes up in Avengers Tower, and he isn't a broken man. No, he's even more determined than ever. With tense eyes, the living legend of World War II goes to the computer and says, we have to get bigger. He remembers his conversation with Stark. Basically, Tony wanted Cap to recruit the best heroes for any tough missions, to fight the foes no single hero could withstand. And when that day comes, he must wake the world. Tony called Steve our very best, so that when he called, everyone would answer. And he means everyone. Get your inspirational music ready as Captain America suits up, folks, as he looks to the reader and says, Assemble at dawn. The last page is a glorious splash page showing who all answered the call. Captain America dusted himself off and is ready to take his fight back to Nilho. Once again, the Avengers assemble. See, this is why you don't let Captain America get away that easily. That's Supervillain 101. Phew, this comic may seem short, but I have a lot to say. Let's take a closer look at Avengers #1. The first thing I want to talk about is that it was a good idea to use the movie Avengers to introduce the team in the book so that new fans can jump into the story since they knew who was who and wouldn't be confused by others appearing in the book since they didn't appear in the movie. By the end they know, and then the team expands. It was a smart move because people could respond by saying, "Hey, I saw this character on the big screen and now he's in the comic. That's awesome." The nods to the movie make it accessible, and that's what Marvel was really looking for, to start the Avengers over with a fresh coat of paint while trying not to alienate old fans. Old fans like myself get a treat here as someone fresh in the form of Jonathan Hickman takes over the writing chores of the Avengers from longtime writer Brian Michael Bendis, and brings up a good point that Bendis had Tony say the team needed to get bigger and deal with the threats that were becoming more and more dangerous. Gone are the Masters of Evil, Kang, and other classic foes. New baddies were emerging, and despite how silly Nilho looks, he isn't one to be trifled with. As for the villain of the story, I don't know. He's a bit silly looking, and we don't learn much about him other than he wants to advance humanity, whether they want to be altered or not. Later issues may reveal more about this guy. I just have a feeling we're dealing with a one-note supervillain, and I pray that I'm wrong. Bad guys with poor fashion senses aside, this book is good in that it draws in fans of the 2012 movie, and comes through with Cap's inspirational call to arms that older comic fans would enjoy. The rallying cry at the end proves that the Avengers in this new world after Avengers vs. X-Men aren't going to be one set team. Earth's mightiest heroes have now been unified under one banner to form an army to fight the foes no single hero could withstand. Using Captain America as the focal point to rally every Avenger together has been used before, and it works because, like Namor and the Human Torch, Cap is a legend stemming from the golden age of heroes. He is a symbol saying, "Yes, we can do this. All odds may be against us, but we will fight." That is who Captain America is, and that explains why this idea hinges on the Captain, because everyone will listen to him. I'm basically saying Captain America rocks here. He's the guy Chuck Norris goes to for advice on being awesome. The Avengers get a much-needed fresh new start in Marvel now. It is clear to me that Earth's mightiest heroes have changed. Is it for the better? It's hard to say. I've been reading the title since it came out, and honestly it's one of the better titles to come out of Marvel now. The art is impressive, and I can't wait to see what happens next. I'm glad that Marvel now hasn't been a total reboot, and while it is annoying that everything had these sets of new number ones all across the line, it's good to see a return to stories that have the spirit of those who have gone before them, as they march towards the future. Will the Avengers continue to protect the world as an army, should the need arise? Will they continue to break box office records, movie after movie? The future is uncertain. For now, the Avengers are back in Marvel now, the great comic, great characters, and if you're a fan of the movie, please check out this comic. You won't be disappointed, as Earth's mightiest heroes unite to fight a common threat. I'm Seafarer, thanks for watching Comics Showcase, and I'll see you in the funny papers.
Seafarer has finished the task I, the Watcher, have given him. He has traveled through the history of the Marvel Universe and bore witness to an age unlike any other. An age of heroes, legends, mutants, monsters, and marvels. A great deal of information has been learned, and he is now prepared for what awaits him and his favorite characters of all time. The legend of the Marvels does not end here. There is more out there. The future awaits. Enough said.